Recupera su saeta para el Oviedo. Juega al medio con Héctor Font. Héctor Font que tiene el balón presionado ahora a la derecha otra vez para su saeta. Se va el primero Néstor. Su saeta levanta la cabeza, pone el centro al área. Balón para Linares. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Del de casi siempre. Miguel Linares. La puso desde la derecha.
Good morning, Oviedo fans, and welcome back to Come On the Oviedo. Today being recorded in my new home of La Mata, which is near Torrevieja. I must apologise for it being such a long time since I was last with you. Finding a high-speed Wi-Fi connection around here to upload the videos to YouTube has been very difficult, but I've done my very best for you today. So, what's on the Christmas menu? Well, I don't see any point in reflecting back on 2014 when a football season finishes in June, so there'll be some of what you were just starting to get used to. Match highlights courtesy of RPTA, my thoughts on the game and a tactical review, some newspaper chat and my favourite social media photo of the weekend. So let's crack on with the highlights of the final Oviedo match of 2014.
No tenía buenos recuerdos el Real Oviedo de su última visita a Malata y quería borrarlos de un plumazo. 7 hombres nuevos en el once inicial con respecto a Anoeta, para que el cansancio apenas se notase. Por si acaso, uno de los que repitió como titular Omba puso pronto en ventaja al cuadro azul. En el minuto 4, el camerunés, después de pegar el balón en un defensa, celebró el primer tanto del partido. Un gol con el que Omba ha entrado en la historia azul al marcar el gol número 5000 del Real Oviedo. La ventaja no amilanó al equipo de Gea, que siguió presionando bien arriba para sentenciar lo antes posible. A raíz de esa buena defensa llegó el segundo tanto azul. Su saeta amagó el centro con un cambio de mirada y su inteligencia hizo el resto. Segundo gol que hacía presagiar que los siguientes 60 minutos apenas tendrían interés. Pero en el primer acercamiento al área del Samozas, los gallegos sacaron oro de muchos quilates. Una inocente mano de Jonathan Vila dejó al conjunto blanquiverde la opción de mantener el suspense en el partido. Y Luis Ángel no desperdició esa ocasión desde el punto de penalti para poner un mínimo de emoción. El Real Oviedo siguió dominando, pero su posesión pocas veces generaba algo de peligro. Solo Linares, con una doble ocasión, puso algo más de mordiente a una primera parte que se desvaneció con la ventaja azul. Aunque pronto en la reanudación el Samozas iba a empatar. Luis Ángel de nuevo aprovechó el rechace de Esteban para poner un empate a 2 que pocos podían prever después del minuto 13. Fue el momento en el que Sergio Gea reaccionó desde la grada, dando entrada a un Sergio García que sería decisivo. Suyo fue el centro que dio origen a un penalti que los azules tenían claro, pero que el colegiado tuvo que consultar. No era momento para perdonar y no lo hizo su saeta, que sumó su doblete particular y su quinto gol esta temporada. A partir de ese minuto 72, el Real Oviedo sufrió. Esteban tuvo que sacar su mejor repertorio para que de nuevo no volviera la sorpresa. Pero como ante el Compostela hace una semana, hasta el último minuto, el partido estuvo en vilo. De nuevo Esteban intervino para llevarse a Asturias los 3 puntos y dejar buen sabor de boca este 2014.
I've got no idea what the Spanish for a game of two halves is, and I'm not sure that even correctly describes that match. Up until Samozas got their penalty, it was possibly the best passage of play I'd ever seen from Oviedo. We were moving the ball quickly, there was a high tempo to our passing, and we were putting them under pressure all over the pitch, which meant we were winning the ball back really quickly. Our second goal was as good as anything I've seen this season. But then they score and our confidence and belief disappeared down a hole. We stopped passing the ball fast, we stopped trying to win the ball back quickly, and we retreated deeper and deeper into our own half. Their second goal we have seen far too often this season, and I'm going to look into that a little bit more in tactics time in a moment. Finally, we got somewhat lucky with winning the penalty in my opinion. What do I make of it overall? Well, we end 2014 5 points clear at the top of the table, something we would have all wished for from Father Christmas. The team actually showed some really good mental strength by getting a win after looking like they had thrown away 2 points, and other teams dropped points around us. Like I said after Astorga, it is great we're winning games, but we can still do so much better, especially if we cut out goals like the second one. So, at this point, Oviedo were 1-0 up following Omga's deflected strike. I spoke earlier of how well Oviedo were pressing and forcing Samozas into mistakes early on, and you can see that here, two Oviedo midfielders snapping around and forcing the Samozas player to lose possession deep in his own half. The ball breaks loose and the next Samozas player looks like he should get there first, quite easily. The Oviedo player is looking to follow his arrow and get a tackle in. The ball is won. The early pressure in the game from Oviedo is meaning that pretty much every 50-50 ball was coming out in favour of the Blues. The ball is now open and there is a chance to switch the play quickly. Again, in the first 20 minutes, Oviedo were passing the ball without hesitation, making every pass dangerous. The ball is played to Susueta, who is now 1v1 with their defender. A bad first touch from Susueta nearly lost him the chance, but he pulled out a lovely step over. And he fired home at the near post, his life made a little bit easier by the Samozas goalkeeper just sitting down for no real reason. Once again, Oviedo showed that any slip of concentration in defence could prove costly. A long, hopeful ball from one side of the pitch to another should not cause a team that is top of the league any problems, but this one does. Firstly, I'm worried about the position of the right back, Nacho Lopez, and Jonathan Villa, who is playing central defence. For me, Lopez is the wrong side of their striker. A fullback should always defend inside the pitch, because even if he does not win the header, he'll be in between the striker and the goal. As Lopez has taken the wrong position, Villa should not be attacking the striker in a straight line, as it means the striker only has to take one touch to his left and he will get a strike on goal. Villa should see where Lopez is and follow the red arrow so that the striker can control the ball, and then he's in a much better position to defend. What happens is that the striker is able to control the ball because Lopez is doing nothing useful at all, and then Villa is having to stretch to get a tackle in because of his poor positioning, and the ball bounces up and it hits his hand for a clear penalty. This really could have been avoided. Early in the second half, and how many times have we seen this scenario? The opposition player is circled and has far too much space to line up a shot from distance. This cannot just be luck now. The opposition must be looking at the way that we play and notice that shots from distance are always on against Oviedo, and that Esteban seems to be struggling to deal with them. Now, I like Omga, circled, as a player. I think he does a lot of hard work when he plays defensive midfield, but it is his responsibility to pick up the attacking midfielders and make sure that they do not get this time and space. But of course, on a football pitch, you cannot always be in the right place at the right time, and I think Villa should have seen this scenario coming and should have already been on the move towards the ball, trying to make the shot more difficult. I'm actually going to give a little credit to David Fernandez, who did everything he could to get over and block the shot, which makes me even more disappointed with Villa, who was so much closer. Now, I'm sorry, I know this is going to upset a few people, but I've watched this clip 20 times expecting to see the ball swerve late, move, take a deflection, anything that could save Esteban from some criticism. Sadly, there was nothing. This is a regulation shot from 25 yards that is straight at the goalkeeper. He needs to save this easily. I've been worried about Esteban's capability to deal with long shots a few times this season, and this is the one that really stands out. Sadly, due to the quality of the video and my limited editing software, I cannot walk you through how bad his footwork is in dealing with this shot, so I hope you can just take my word for it. As you know, they follow up quicker than the half-asleep Lopez again, and they make it 2-2. Finally, I'll let you all decide whether you think this was a penalty. I have seen them given as often as they are not given, and I just know that as a defender myself, it is really hard to get out of the way when the ball is drilled at you from 3 yards. Either way, we'll take it, and it was a great penalty taken under pressure by Susueta. 3 points Oviedo, but as ever, so much work to do on the training pitch. Senor Aguirre, I'm available to work with you on this, you just have to call me. So let's have a look at a few of the other results over the weekend. Lealtad did us an absolutely huge favour by beating Logroño 1-0. Murcia and Guillo shared a 1-1 draw, which means Guillo is still above Murcia in 4th and 5th respectively. Guillo becoming the real draw specialists in the division, having only lost one game but drawn 8. As you can see there, Sporting B lost 1-0, which is fantastic, and Zamora were able to get another win, beating Burgos 1-0. Let's have a look at the league table. Well, I know quite a few people think that I'm always grumpy when it comes to Oviedo, but I'm as happy as anyone that we end 2014 5 points clear of Guillo, who are in 2nd place. Logroño have been overtaken by Guillo, and Murcia have dropped surprisingly down to 4th position. Maybe they weren't the team that everybody thought they were at the start of the season, as they've really struggled since we beat them 4-1 at the Tartieri. Down at the bottom, well, you can see that Marino are still bringing up the rear. Choppers on Lealtad, who got that great win beating Logroño, which helped us out massively. And Samozas, who we beat, are still in the relegation zone. Also, Sporting looking like they could be in trouble as we go into 2015.